Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Jolene. Welcome to my art studio. And if you were here yesterday, no, I didn't do anything to my fish, but I'm thinking about it. So that's something. Had a busy day today. Some part of it was busy. Uh, was working on this headache pain that I've been struggling with today. Maybe it's the change of the weather or not, but uh, we're having some Bigelow tea in my I don't give a shit mug from Joan Jett. That's not what she sings, but that's what I think her message is, at least to me today. Hmm. I am recovering in all ways and with a grateful heart, the best I can. Uh, Happy birthday to my daughter. And here we go. Ah, this feels good, actually. You can feel it. Yesterday, I talked about my my experience with different meditation people, and at the time, I was like, "What is this? Do you ever do that?" Like, you're like, "I don't trust this. I don't know," but you still do it anyhow. Looking back, yeah, it was probably a little bit of a sham scam, but it did sit my ass down. It did get me to be present. Probably because of the money that I spent on it. But today I'm a different person than I was 10 years ago. And I don't need to do that, at least for today. So there we go. Anything that'll get you to sit down, like, meditation is for me, and this is what I keep hearing, is that it is that listening. Meditation is listening, learning how to listen to the spirit, to your higher power, to nature. Like driving through the park today again, just seeing the magical light coming through the trees, the deer mommies and babies nibbling on the grass and the trees and sitting and just like the awe of it all, like with my kids. Like that was really special. Wishing my daughter happy birthday today, uh, missing her, thinking about what can I get her to show her that I love her. So I have this thing where I think about someone who has a birthday or a celebration coming up. Like I'll think of them towards it and the day of, and then I usually write my poetic, creative thoughts on a card then, and then I mail it. And then I'm still thinking about her, and I'm thinking like, oh, like I just want to find some things and start like I start boxes for them and put things in it, and eventually, after a month or two, they'll get the box with all these little things that I've put together. So that's just been a part of my meditation for that. So I have a couple things that I've written and I wanted to share that are um, geared towards my sobriety and recovery and healing of my life, right? So we're all here together being, you know, we're human beings and like we're spiritual beings too. So working on that. Love feels no burden, thinks no trouble, attempts what is above its strengths, pleads no excuse of impossibility, for it thinks all things are lawful for itself, and all things are possible. He or she or they uh, does much to they. So he, she, they. Right. I know. It's 2025, so that's where we're at. Does much who loves much. Does much who loves much. Gladly we desire to make other people perfect, but we will not amend our own faults. So we have to amend our own faults. So, what else did I write? Let's see. Just opened up a page of my notebook. So, never be entirely idle, but either be reading or writing, painting, drawing, praying, or meditating, or endeavoring something for the public good, which would be working on yourself because we do go out in the public, don't we? Let's see. Grateful that I can learn how to listen. Uh, I can't control the wind, but I can adjust the sails on my boat. Yeah. So I can't control the birds, but I can stop sitting under the picnic table under the tree. The bird shit, right? So let's see. When I feel lonely, then I find I'm avoiding doing my art. When I want to center myself, I do the more difficult drawings. Let's see. I can stop the rain, but I can't stop the rain, but I can bring an umbrella. Very good. Very nice. Let's see. Love and peace grow in us one day at a time, right? And the opinions are strictly those of the person who gave them, right? So, right? Opinions are strictly of those people who give them, including ourselves. So if we give an opinion, it is, like when there's that, if you spot it, you got it. If you see it, you be it. And you're like, nah, they're nasty, they're rude, well, you couldn't recognize it, nor call it out, nor even allow it to phase you if you weren't somehow either consciously there, subconsciously there, or unconsciously there, where that weed will be growing out of you because it's there. So work on ourselves instead of, yeah. I mean, an opinion is also good to be able to see, like, oh, what do I need to work on today? So let's see. Turning the page, just randomly reading these. Let's see. Let's see, humility. I like this word. Used to think it was humiliation because I was always feeling that with some of my relationships where I was like people pleasing and then I was humiliated because I was giving everything and they were just like using me as a dish rag, right? Well, it's because I was people pleasing, thinking that I wasn't worthy enough. But, like my overextended ego was saying, no, I thought I was everything. Well, obviously not if I put myself in a position to, obviously not. That's the unconscious stuff. That's the stuff from the childhood traumas that you don't think you're good enough or worthy enough, or maybe that's why your other relationships didn't work because it's you. And well, yeah, I mean, we all have our part, but the things that served us to survive when we were in our youth, right? When we were children and teenagers, no longer serve us when we're adults. So that's what this is all about, is to take hold of the reins of your life and stop with a victim mentality that's not going to serve you or the other people that you are now having relationships with, including your children, including your parents that may have been some of the people that have affected you when you were younger. So, like, but now we're trying to live our life here the best we can, right? Surviving and surviving more than surviving, okay? Finding joy and peace and love and like in the beautiful mundane parts of life, like littlest thing. I mean, you're not living like movie stars here in our minds. I mean, maybe you are. I don't know. But everyone has a story. Everyone has a problem. So living like in a victim, I mean, you're just going to be, it's like a yucky way of living, right? So when I think the problem and the solution outside of me, I call it hopelessness, waiting on someone else's behavior. Then I'm putting myself into that victim mentality. So, giving your power to them, to other people. It's not their responsibility. Maybe you're still thinking like you don't know like what it is that you need. You just want your mom or your dad when you're little to like see you, to understand you, to love you, like to have those scenarios in your imagination come true somehow. You're searching for that satiation. And that's that's like one of those pieces where you say, okay, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for just I'm okay with me. I love me, like parenting yourself with your better self. Make any sense? The more you work on this, the more you can embody it. And my face is getting red. I'm getting a hot flash. Okay, let me put this on hold and I'm going to take off my sweater. Holy macaroni. Well, it's funny that my hot flashes are coming back because I think it's because I'm working on I'm going to acupuncture once a week. They started happening again. I guess it's good. I'm working out. I feel like the life force is working because I was feeling like something, there's like no life force in here. So having some life force happening. I'm still in the swells of it. All right, so I'm gonna put this guy away and I'm going to talk about something else. It's some things that I read today that I'm going to share my uh, my take on it and what I've read today in my recovery day. All right, since I'm not allowed to read the books here anymore, I'm going to read them first and to myself, and then I'm going to read them to myself, and then I'm going to share my take on it. How's that? Is that going to work? Hopefully. All right. So, yeah. Um, Basically, uh, so say we all want loving relationships. Yeah, I want a loving relationship in my life, and that includes my right now, my relationship with my kids, my parents, my mom, my dad, who's and stepmom who are beyond here. Hello, if you're watching in heaven. And yeah, my sisters and my kids, my exes, discluding one, of course, because I'm not ready to even talk to them anymore. The second husband, if you're wondering. Um, but we can't like I can't force any solutions with any of them, including that second ex. And when I realize I can't, this is something that I realized when I read today that I can find meaning in my life by playing an active role within the scope of my higher powers plan. Okay. And uh, by using the tools that I learn about, like, working with steps, to me was like the best way. It was like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, it has it laid out. Um, and not using drugs or alcohol or any other addictive behaviors that were squashing my feelings. So feeling my feelings, living life on life's terms, and just doing the next right thing, not catastrophizing. I keep hearing people use that word. Um, and it really gives a good scope of like what it is. Don't do it. So letting go of a problem, and letting go, letting them, because doesn't mean that I don't want a solution, right? Doesn't mean that we don't want solutions, okay? So it seems it just basically means that I won't allow to myself to deplete my energy, my inner resources by struggling, right? With something that is beyond my control. I can't control other people, places, and things outside of me. God grant us serenity to accept things we can't change. We can't change other people's perceptions or their actions. We can maybe influence by our serenity and joy in life. Oh, I want to be like that. I want to do that too. It's by so so with any aspects of our life, we can't force any solutions to uh right. And you know by trying to like fix everything or people pleasing, we think that that's an imaginary thing. We cannot. So we need to release our tension for trying to do those things, and then we can focus on the energies that we can handle. And that's when I first got sober, I had a sponsor that said just focus on three things. That's it. Because I was like, well, I need to do this, and I got to do this, and oh no, 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 and this and that. And they're like, just do three things. Wake up. Maybe it's just as simple as waking up, eating food, and going to bed. Maybe that's as simple as you need to be. Or you can be, I'm going to uh, make breakfast for me and my kids. I'm going to uh, call the electric company and pay my bill that's late. And I'm going to take the trash out. Like it could be that simple. Just do three major things that you can today. And those major things can be simple, because they need to stay that way, especially when you're struggling, when you're uh, when your inner resources have been depleted and you're struggling. Um, because we're working on that little by little. Now, once you get stronger and you're not throwing your energies into some other things that aren't helping you and are, like then that's where it's like it's a scale. It's like a sliding scale daily. And each day your sliding scale can maybe go up higher and then maybe it's going to go back, but don't go, oh, 2 weeks ago, a year ago, I was doing much better. I was doing all these things, and now I'm back down to this. Like, oh, like I lost my job or that I didn't really want. So that wasn't good for me. That kind of thing. So that's the way it goes. That's living life on life's terms. So, and all right. What else? Okay. So I want to talk about praying for someone that maybe you resent, or so that's good for me because uh I have a big resentment with my my younger kid's dad, you know. So I'm gonna talk about that. So let's see here. Let's do a prayer. So I was taught you just pray for God's will for them, period. You don't say, oh, I pray that they'll see the light. I pray that they'll tell me they're sorry and send me $100. Like I pray, like nothing specific because God knows better. The light knows better. It's not like, you're going to pray for something when you're upset and then you're going to you don't want that. You want God's will. We're practicing to give our life over to the light, to the good, the better, the best for all of us. So, and we don't know what that is because we're working on that. We have to start thinking. We have like wishes that are not maybe in our best interest sometimes, and that's where and why we've gotten into the troubles we've gotten into. Okay. And just because you know doesn't, oh, I know this now. It doesn't mean that your mind isn't going to throw in some crap. Okay. So here we go. Reset. Here we go. The moment you start to resent a person, you become that person's slave. They control your dreams, absorb your digestion, rob you and your peace of mind and goodwill, and take away the pleasure of your work. The person you resent ruins your spirituality and nullifies your prayers. You cannot take a vacation without that person going along, rent free, right? In your mind. They destroy your freedom of mind and hound you wherever you go. There's no way to escape the person you resent. That person is with you when you are awake, invade your privacy when you sleep. That person is close beside you when you eat and when you drive your car, when you are on the job. You can never have efficiency or happiness. The person you resent influences even the tone of your voice. They require you to take medicine for indigestion, headache, and loss of energy. That person even steals your last moment of consciousness before you go to sleep. So if you want to be a slave, harbor your resentments. Okay. So how do you get rid of the resentments? Well, I was told you pray, like I said, and it takes 2 weeks. You got to pray in the morning and at night for them. And I thought, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I went and started my recovery because I could not get I couldn't function, could not function because all I would do was cry and think about um, my failed relationship with my fiance. I was just, I couldn't function at all. I was in bed all the time. I was crying. Wasn't able to even think about how to take care of my kids. It was terrible. I was a mess. I thought I was going to throw myself off of the balcony, 4-story balcony. But I didn't because I thought, well, it might not work. And then I'll still be here, but in more pain bodily. So it was suggested that I pray for them. And I thought that was insane, but I was insane. So there you go. When you judge somebody or something, it's a reflection of you. So there, this is how you do it. Here we go. God, I pray for fill in the blank with their name, or you can just say, I pray for them, and you could just have them in your head, but it's better if you throw their name in there. I pray for so and so, your will for them. I pray that you take care of them. Amen. Okay. And you can adjust it, but don't like elaborate too much. Okay. Just keep it simple. Because what I found is after like the third day, I was like, oh, I'm just bringing it here. You just bring it to the moment that you're praying instead of it all day washing in and out, in your drink, in your stuff, like in your step, in your shoe, in your hair. When they say I'm going to wash that person out of my hair, that song from was it South Pacific? Yeah, because it's in your hair, it's in you. So you wash it out, and that's how you do it. Okay. Hallelujah. So let me know how it goes because it works. I do it when I start getting mad about something. I'm like, I pray for so and so. If something comes up in my mind, I'm like, I'll just like do my prayers at night. I'll say the Serenity Prayer and a couple other ones. Uh, I always like to see if any person or thing, like the state of the world, pray for that, for the outcome, for the greater good, God, light, gratitude, that part, not the damning idea of God. It's the good, the benevolent. And since the benevolent aspects are in the astrology, it's like this is the time to do it because it's going to be powerful. Yes, do it. All right, so I want to read one more prayer that I have here, and it says, I surrender to God my entire life. I've made a mess of it, trying to run it myself. Um, I pray God to run it and take the whole thing according to your will and plan. Amen. All right. So I think that's enough, right? I will probably paint tomorrow. I'm not sure. I hope so because I'm chomping at the bit about it. I really want to do it. Just the headache thing got me a little bit today, so just the way it goes. Um, Maybe what I'll do is maybe I'll put it at the end of this, but yeah, maybe I'll paint a little bit at the end of this. Why not? You can decide to stay or go, right? Or watch parts of it. Will that work? All right, I'll stop the video so that I can get myself set up, but subscribe if you haven't already. Join if you haven't already. Thank you for your subscribing and your likes and your comments. It really, thank you, because it's been a little bit of a trip. Having to erase all of those videos because of that letter, but I get it. That's fine. It'll push a different way for me, and I got to do what I wanted to do and needed to do. I did it for reasons that I needed to do for myself, and I got to meet all of you as well. So, all right, so we're gonna stop for a second, and then I'll be back painting. Okay, love you. I'm gonna work with this background here because it's not bright enough. And thanks for being here if you're here. Um, we want to start. Yeah, I have this pink that I want to play with. And I don't normally talk too much when I'm painting. So just trying to get used to this. And yes. Okay, so let's check it out. I just use the crappiest brush possible. If you know, you know. For those of you who have ever painted with me, hello. So I have this other pink too. Let me see what this does. And don't use the best paints. But you know, what does that mean? I don't know. I found a lot of these really cool colors at this place called the Indigo Hippo, where they get donated all these supplies, like art supplies and all these things. Have you ever seen those places where they do it on like this is a little bit of a brighter yellow. I have it just in case. Um, it's creamy. They have this place where I went to when I visit my daughter in Cincinnati, and they have this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you can buy all these little paints for like I got a whole bag of paints for $6. I think each one was 30 cents or something. Like I was like, okay, we're gonna use them. All right, so I have the darker pink here, and then I'm gonna just dip into the neon pink and just I don't know. I should have probably taped this off, but we're already started. So let me see. Again, yeah. You know, a lot of times you start something and then it's like, I don't know, it's gonna work. And I never really know if it's gonna work. You don't. That's why I think a lot of people who use the digital art, like my kids, my younger kids do, gonna leave some of the yellow border. And so they use the digital and I think, oh, that's so cool because then you can see if the color will work and you can remove it. And I'm just using the neon pink like that. And then you don't, you know, waste your time painting or make the commitment painting. It's a lot of times you just go, okay, now I have to, I hope this works. But I'm not that skilled with I started doing a little digital painting and drawing, but then my computer or my iPad, I dropped it. So I'm using some of this yellowy stuff, creamy because it's creamy as a lightener for the pink. So, and then blending it. I like that. Um, yeah, I dropped my iPad and then at the time I wasn't sober. So I was like, all right, I guess I gotta throw it away. I didn't know they had a thing called broke ass phones, until 2 months into being sober. I was like, shoot, I could have gotten it fixed. Right, so this is a little tedious in the corner, but you just keep wiggling it. And I have to repaint the frame anyhow. I'll show you because I see here, I have to repaint the frame. Now, this whole piece is on a recycled piece of art. I got it for $5 at Goodwill. I think it was like $5, but I loved it because I had a frame and it was already stretched in the back. And I thought, I'll buy that for $5. I could paint on it. So that's what a lot of my work that I've sold and paint on, because then I feel like it's giving it a different life, because I don't want to see like a printed scene of Sicily, or not Sicily, but they have Venice, those Venetian scenes. But so wiggling the brush at the end, you see, it's like using the end of it, the straight edge. Now I'll go in and mix it up. I don't know. Just going in here because I dipped it again. Maybe not looking too much to see if it looks good. I think it looks. I think it's okay. Because I've already committed to filling it in with the paint. So, like relationships, right? You're just in it now. So how many years are you gonna stay? Right? How long is it gonna take? So I know I can make it better. Like in a painting, you might not be able to save it, but most likely you could. I can just paint over it. You could paint over the whole thing white or black or whatever. Um, I have like a sort of a wet paper towel, damp. So I'm just gonna kind of play with this to see what happens here. Interesting. I already have like some type of texture on here. That kind of looks fun, right? A lot of times you can just put like a whole layer of Elmer's glue on this, and then it'll grab different. You can have like some type of, depends on how dynamic you want to go. You can get some Windex, put drips on it. So it's just, and how do you know when a painting's done? I don't know, when you hang it up and sell it, or when you hang it up and don't paint on it again, and then maybe you paint on it again. I don't know. It's it's just depends when it's done. When it's done is when you deliver it to the person you're painting it for. And if you're not painting it for anybody specific, just, what does that mean? Okay, here. It's like, when do you know it's done? There's no trick here, okay? It's like, do you like it? Then it's done. Maybe it's shit, but you won't judge it that way when you're excited about it. Maybe you'll look at it 10 years from now and you go, okay, it's not so good, but I had fun painting it. I've been given paintings by people who just start painting, and I'm like, okay. And it's hard for me not to judge it. And I'm like, oh God, it's so terrible, that painting. But then I'm like, you know what? They loved painting it. So shut up. I have to calm that inner critic that it doesn't really help me in my relationships with people. So yeah, it's honest, make it not. But I love the fact that they're doing it. I just, like to think that your piece is like, holy, that's the best thing I ever saw. I mean, yeah, but for someone else to think that too, maybe not. Cool your ego, cool the jets, be realistic. That's, like maybe you're not a realistic person. You don't really need to be realistic here. Just need to have fun. And if someone else likes your piece and buys it or not buys it, maybe you're just going to give it to them because why not? Okay. So this is a little tedious because of the brush and the angle, and I'm trying not to get it on my frame. So I can always just go into this star and take my clean part of the towel and like that. That's fine. I think it's a work in progress. I'm not I think it's not in the color. It's looking a little weak. It's like a circle here. Looking a little blah, but it's a work in progress. So we have to put this, lay it down, layer down. And, so yeah, that's a funny little shape. I think what I did is I painted something and I smushed it on. See that it's like printed, but just picking up the yellow a little bit. Take this and then yeah, there we go. Taking pictures of your piece and walking away from it. That always helps. So what we're doing, we're focusing on this instead of things that aren't fun. Maybe we can have a little bit of a conversation with this piece, right? Listening to what to do next. There. Just want to cover it. Go well in Sanibel, in Florida vibe, but that's where I started painting it, so makes sense, right? Now I'm probably not going to use all this, so I'll just put plastic wrap over it. Alrighty. What's happening is that my hand's starting to fall asleep. Okay, arm. Don't fail me now. And paint till your brush drops. This chatting is stopped. Don't know. Right? It's very sketchy. But that's a little more peachy yellowy out here and more pink up front. And I don't know where else to go at this point. Still just adding some of the neon within there. And I'll put this brush in water. Let's use a different brush for a minute. It's just paint day, isn't it? So let me see about this up in here. It's more of a gold yellow, like a creamy butter, buttery gold. It's going to be quick here. All the work. Bubbles. Bubbles. So now it's a fish breathing. Vitality here. Life, life force in the fish. So, dim now. So when I have that brush stroke, I just don't really love it. So I'm just going to squiggle it out. Maybe. It's a whimsical, fun thing. I'm going to probably make this a little more exciting. Color in there. But the stars reflected in water. It's night fishing. Just see like that. Um, Foundation. So that's what it looks like now. Not sure going. I always think if I turn off the camera, I'm gonna keep going. I feel I'm kind of sure. do you think? Some bubbles. Something under. Like about maybe left over from the stripes from before. Just feel like with that. Mm. Yeah, that adds a little bit of something. Plus, then you get to see the texture. Go a little underneath one of the scratches here. And you're like, do I go too far? I don't know. Always erase it. Oh my gosh. My hand's numb. So I like the stripes. They're making a tell with how cold dead your hand was. Coming out of this color on my palette. I have some more, but reloading it. And when you have enough, I like looking in the camera too, because then I can see another perception. Perception. And we're using it all. Oh, yeah. Mhm. Okay. So we like that? Yeah, I do. All right, so now I'm going to take the rest of my neon color and use that too on top of it. Around the bottom. Yeah. Wasting nothing. So we don't have to, I guess I might not use that for pink. And sometimes it's not pink, it's pretty. Okay. There, I like that. There we go. Thank you for that. Looks good there. Yeah, because it was like more peach up there. See that? That's fun and whimsical. It's happy. It's happier. Happier. So maybe I use a little sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Why not? Let's go. Oh, still white, we can go in it. Mhm. Scratching. We call it making marks. Making marks. It's kind of fun. And pinks. I feel like I'm afraid of this. Cold. Ish, I guess. Like that. Yeah. Spirit. Can you see that? Scratching. I'll bring it closer so you can see how that looks. It's kind of cool because it's pulling like light stuff. My hand is totally going numb on it. Sometimes it's just too, it'll go too far. Sure. Wanted it to kind of be just down, down. Just feeling water thing. Do I want to do any? Okay. So anything inside of the fish itself today? Just weird dots to take away some of the muddiness. And that. Mm, Didn't do that. I didn't. You like it? I didn't do. Well, sorry if this is sorry to myself. It's gonna it's gonna be a place where I need to stop for a minute and come back. I think I'm gonna stop because I feel like why not stop. All right, well that is where we're gonna stop for now. I'm gonna wake up my hands and then we'll work on it maybe tomorrow. Okay. I love you.